Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. So word for word translation, Danya, fortunate. Iam is Adya. Now, Rani, have, are grasses, Virudaha, and bushes. Fat, your pada of the feet. Risaha, receiving the touch. Ruma, the trees. Lataha, and creepers. Haraja, by your fingernails. Abhimishtaha, touched. Nadyaha, rivers. Adrayaha, and mountains. Kaga, birds. Rigaha, and animals. Sadaya, merciful. Avaloke, by your glances. Gopyaha, gopis. Antarena, in between. Ujaya, your two arms. Api, indeed. Yet, for which? Spriha, maintains the desire. Shri, the goddess of fortune. Translation. This art has now become most fortunate because you have touched her grass and bushes with your feet and her trees and creepers with your fingernails, and because you have grazed her rivers, mountains, birds, and animals with your merciful glances. But above all, you have embarrassed young cowherd women between the two arms. Above all, you have embraced the young cowherd women between your two arms, a favor hankered after by the goddess of fortune herself. Please kindly respond. This art has now become most fortunate because you have touched her grass and bushes with your feet, and her trees and creepers with your fingernails. And because you have graced her rivers, mountains, birds, and animals with your merciful glances. But above all, you have embraced the young cowherd women between your two arms. A favor hankered after by the goddess of fortune herself. Purport. The word Adya now indicates that the time of Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna's appearance on the earth. In his form of Varaha, Lord Krishna personally saved the earth, and indeed the earth is understood to rest perpetually on the potency of Sesha. Both Varaha and Sesha are expansions of Balaram, who is himself an expansion of Lord Krishna, the original personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna's statement that this art has now become most fortunate. Danyayam Adyadarani indicates that nothing can equal the blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal form as Krishna, appearing simultaneously with his plenary expansion, Balaram. The compound word, Maharaja Brimistraha, touched by your fingernails, indicates that as Krishna and Balaram will move through the forest, they will pick fruits and flowers from the trees, bushes, and creepers and use these paraphernalia in their pleasure pastime. Sometimes they will break leaves off the plants and use them with the flowers to decorate their bodies. Krishna and Balaram will glance lovingly, mercifully at all the rivers and hills and creatures in Vrindavan, but the blessing received by the gopis, being embraced directly between the Lord's arms, was the supreme benediction, desired even by the goddess of fortune herself. The goddess of fortune who lives in Vaikuntha on the chest of Lord Narayan once desired to be embraced on the chest of Sri Krishna, and thus she performed severe austerities to achieve this blessing. Sri Krishna informed her that her actual place was in Vaikuntha and that it was not possible for her to dwell upon his chest in Vrindavan. Therefore, she begged Krishna to allow her to remain on his chest in the form of a golden lion, and he granted her this benediction. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur recounts this incident from the Puranas. Ganat Salakaya Saksur Gurve Namaha Chaitanya Manobhistam Tapetam Yen Bhutali Swayam Rupam Padamayam Yatisva Pandit Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Samad Bhakti Vedanta. Nirvisi. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya. Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram. So, I thank everybody for sharing the precious Saturday morning to temple program. And this 10th canto is all about Krishna's pastime. And here in this text, describing descriptive analysis of the fortune of the earthly planet and everything else that is within the earth, mountains, rivers, oceans, pebbles, stones, birds, bushes. So, Lord Krishna was playing the role of an ordinary child of Vaishya. Nanda Maharaj was not the president of India. He was just Vaishya. So Krishna Balaram could have chosen to be born by the most aristocratic family in India at the time. And no, he chose his devotee. So, it's pastimes of roaming around, tending the cows with Balaram and the cowherd boys. They are all documented in this 10th canto. And so the whole idea is to bring to light that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person, and that he did appear on this planet in his original form as Krishna over 5,000 years ago. The unfortunate thing is that even till today, some scholars, including Indian scholars, they say the whole thing about the Bhagavatam is a mythology. What is this? Mythology is something like a fiction, something that does not exist and someone imagine it. But the very appearance place where Krishna enacted all these pastimes. Vrindavan is there. Where he appeared in Mathura is still there. Govardhan is there. So what's the question of mythology? See, this is the problem with trying to know too much. We find this so much in scholarship. And people sometimes, they don't really follow what they say. They just say something for the sake of scholarship. I remember one time we were in Vrindavan, so we were on Parikram. And then we entered one shrine. And there were some pamphlets. So I picked up one of those pamphlets. And I was angry. I was so upset. Because in the pamphlet, they are referring to all of this right there in Vrindavan. Isn't the term mythology? Vedic mythology. Sometimes, people don't understand the words they use. And so they hear some people use some words and then also they repeat it. And it could be very, very disturbing. When the Vrindavan, people are right there in Vrindavan and they're referring to the Vedic culture, Vedic literature as a mythology. But no, all of these pastimes, the Kurukshetra, place of the battle is still there. People are visiting there. They have also a temple there. So Lord Krishna designed his leelas in such a way that the fools may not be able to benefit from. But then those who are inclined in devotion. Keep in mind, Krishna says that one can only know him. Bhagavad Gita. One can only know him. The only way to be able to know Krishna is to Bhaktyama Abhijanati. And therefore, Lord Krishna reciprocates. In fact, when he was on the battlefield as the charioteer of Arjuna, people saw him in different ways. And so even when he was on the planet, even right there in India, moving around, not everyone could identify him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For some people, he's just a powerful figure. Powerful mystic. But no, Krishna, to Bhagavan's faith, is the Supreme Personality. And here it is mentioned that the commentators mentioned in the purport that Balaram is the direct expansion of Krishna. And from Balaram, the Sesha and all these Varaha incarnations, they are expansions of Balaram. Now, if you read the Bhagavatam, you'll find that the whole process of creation is completely far away from Krishna. So Krishna expands first to Balaram, and then there's a quadruple expansion. There's another quadruple expansion before you go to Mahavishnu, before you go down, 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 down to Vishnu. Yet people who don't read the Bhagavatam, they tend to think that Krishna is coming from Vishnu. That's another common confusion that people have. So, Krishna is the source of all income. And therefore, he united all of these pastimes. And these gopis, they are not ordinary people. Because ordinary people may not be scholarly. But the gopis were very scholarly. Because when even Krishna spoke in euphemisms, the gopis understood. I'll give you an example. When Lord Krishna, when Akura came to pick up Lord Krishna and Balaram from Vrindavan, and the gopis and all the Brajabasis, they were very much disturbed. They were wailing. Some of the gopis, they lie down on the road, prefer to be crushed by Akura's chariot than to leave Krishna going. And Krishna said something to the gopis. And what was that? That just calmed all of them down. He said, don't worry, I'm going to pacify Kamsa. They understood. The word pacify is a euphemistic statement. Euphemism is a system of using words or phrases or language that something really ugly, you quote it with a very nice. Krishna used euphemisms in his communication with the gopis. And the gopis understood. You tell me, some ordinary person on the street, you speak in euphemisms and they will understand? No. So if you read the chapter of the Bhagavatam where Lord Akura came to fetch Lord Krishna and Balaram, you see that dialogue. And so Krishna performed a lot of wonderful pastimes, and people look at these pastimes. Some people take this pastime as stories. Some people derive some principles of self-elevation from those very pastimes. Some people repeat the pastimes like, yes, it's purifying. If you repeat the pastimes, it's purifying. But even more important than that is to be able to derive, to go home with something from those pastimes. I give an example to that effect. When Krishna was with the gopis in the groves with his friends, so Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur documented this in his wonderful for pastimes that he referred to as spam. What do you call it? Someone plays some tricks. Pranks, yeah. Pranks, yeah. So when Krishna and his friends were in the groups, so Krishna, he told, Vishwanath documented this pastime. So Krishna told Subal, and everybody who has a spiritual master should hear this. Krishna told Subal, go and bring Radharani right now. And Radharani is under tight security. You cannot go and bring Radharani. First, you cannot enter Abhimanyo's compound. Abhimanyo's mother is like, and Abhimanyo's sister, they are the security guards. They don't allow people to enter there. The gopis and Vrinda and Radharani as their abode. So nobody is allowed to enter. Yet Krishna told Subal, go and bring Radharani just now. And Subal did not question. Hey, Saka, what do you mean? That is impossible. But we know it's impossible. But Subal did not ask, query, doubt anything. He just zoomed off. So, as he went off to fulfill to carry out Krishna's instruction, Krishna, keep in mind, he is the supreme spiritual master. And here he is playing the role of a friend with all of these Gopals, and he ordered his friend to go and bring his lover. So, and then he got to the gate, and Abhimanyo's mother was at the gate. What do you want? Subal told Abhimanyo's mother that one of my calves strayed away. Can I check in your barn to see if calves can stray away and go into any other person's barn? So, what is the name of Abhimanyo's mother's mother? You hear that? So, she said, she recognized him to be Krishna's friend. She said, you can go in and check, but don't waste time. Just go in quickly and come out quickly. You can go check in the barn. So then Subal went to the barn and picked one of the calves. No, she went straight to Radharani's chambers and said, Krishna wants you. And so Radha and the gopis, they said, that's impossible. Didn't you see the old woman at the gate? How is that going to work? So Subal had some type of, Krishna empowered him with some type of innovation. So Subal said, I have a solution to that. So they said, yes, tell us. He said, see, I have the calf. I get one of the calves because this is what I told your mother-in-law. I'm coming to check the barn if my calf strayed to her barn. I pick a calf, and you use that calf. I'll give you my dhoti. You dress like me, and because you have a breast, you use that calf and put it on your chest, so that she will not figure out. And don't talk. Don't speak anything. You just go out. So she did that. And it was very successful. And she was able to go to meet Krishna. So what is the implication of this? To disciples and aspiring disciples. There's a big implication here. Now, essentially, every instruction from the Guru is encapsulated with empowerment. So it's up to the disciple. Are you faithful in the instructions of? Now, I've seen a case. I've seen a case where there was one Swami, one of Prabhupada's disciple, one guru. He said, when I was younger, temple where I was staying. And then he was staying in one of his disciples' home. So I went to see him there. And then he was coming up from the room where I was staying. And then I heard him speaking with the disciple, the female disciple. And the disciple, she said, Maharaj, we cannot do that. He said, we cannot do that. In other words, the guru can give you an instruction and say, this is too much for me, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. So that is a gross failure. Because just like Subal, Krishna gave the instruction. Krishna is the supreme spiritual master. So he gave instruction to Subal. Subal he had genuine reasons to be hesitant, to make even arguments that, it's not going to be possible because the old woman is always there. How am I going to go into the compound and all this to deliver a message? And he had full conviction in the words of Krishna. That the words of Krishna are encapsulated with empowerment. Therefore, whatever instruction that he was given, he would just be used as an instrument. And that's exactly what Krishna said in the Gita. When Arjuna was being hesitant to do the fight, Krishna said, look, everything is already done. Either you go get the credit or you become a failure. Krishna suggested, just go and get the credit. So, we see this in the pastimes of Krishna a lot, that his devotees are always triumphant. He mentions also in the Gita that his devotee will never perish. If we really believe in that, then whatever instructions that Krishna gives, we should have that conviction that we will be used as an instrument, just like Arjuna was used as an instrument, and just like Subal was just used as an instrument to execute Krishna's desire. Find also in the case of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, can you imagine? Someone almost 70. He has to sail across the Atlantic with virtually no money to go and establish an international movement. And he has to come through Jaladuta. Did any of you here come by boat to America when you come into America? Huh? Just see the love that Prabhupada has for the world. So, Lord Krishna and Balaram, they enacted a wonderful pastimes. And these pastimes are meant for us to remember. Now, in the case of the Dhanuka, the Bhakti Vinod also delineates all of the demons that Krishna killed. The significance, the undertones, the benefits to be derived when we meticulously read, scrutinizingly read and hear these pastimes. they're dealing with our different anarthas. So they are not just some stories that we just relish, but they have spiritual implication in the sense of purifying our anarthas. And so we have the opportunity to be part of this great mission of Srila Prabhupada, part of this great mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore, I know we're busy. Undoubtedly, we're busy. But we should find some time. Why? To read the Bhagavatam. Because the Bhagavatam itself says, Nasta Prayesu Apasu. It purifies the anarthas, the unwanted things. Reading, hearing the Bhagavatam purifies the unwanted things. And therefore, it's recommended. We should do this, just like we eat every day. We should do this every day. How many hours? Just maybe 45 minutes. And these days, if even you don't come to class, you can log on to the internet to listen to the Bhagavatam class. If we use this as one of the doses, our everyday doses, we can make exponential progress in a very short time. In a meta-cognitive time frame, we can make so much. You see, when we're using the GPS, idea is the GPS is able to, give directions. But in most cases, idea is to cut down a short. Go by the shortest possible routes, especially areas that you are not familiar with the routes. You could get lost. But with the GPS, it takes you through the shortest possible course. There is traffic jam here. It takes you to another place where you can go quickly. So there are shortcuts for everything. Devotional life also, we can make it simple, easy, and short by doing what has been prescribed. By taking the medicine. This medicine is taken through Ivritata, She, Opagia, Babak Shudat, Trotra, Manobirama. Ka, Uttama Sloka, Gunanova. Who is that? Who will not be interested in these transcendental messages of Uttama Sloka? Puma virajita vina pasugna, except for someone who is a butcher or someone who is killing their own existence. This is the statement in the Bhagavatam. This is the medicine. Hearing about Krishna's pastimes is the medicine that can cure us from repeated birth and death, from all types of material desires. It's the desires that bring us back to this material world. And so the pastimes of the Lord, they are not to be taken like folk tales. They are purifying agents. They are therapeutic. Pastimes are therapeutic. And therefore, by listening to the Bhagavatam, listening to these wonderful pastimes of the Lord, one becomes disinterested in even the old things that they've been addicted to. Why? Because of the purification. So it looks like a joke, like it's too simple. How is that so simple? It's time tested. Look, hippies, potheads, they did the same thing. Now they are Goswamis, they are Paramahamsas. I'm right in our movement. This is, you may say, oh, this is 5,000 years ago. No, but even just Right in our movement, we see the effect of the pastimes of the Lord. And so, the Lord, we want beauty, and the Lord is superlatively beautiful. You know, some boy, when they developed a stage where they want to marry, they look for beautiful girl to marry. Some girl, when they finish their college and all these things, they're looking for handsome boy to marry. So we are attracted to beauty, and Krishna is the supreme, is the epithet of beauty. That is just to be able to zap us, so that we become distracted from the material beauty. So there's a lot that we can always be part of in the Krishna Lila. It's a matter of opening up our hearts and then giving some time just to listen. Now the Bhagavatam is also in an audio format. I remember when I was in Toaco, a temple, I was doing pujari work in New Jersey, and each time I go to the altar to do the service, each time I go to the altar, I plug on some lectures. I'm beating the deities and doing everything else. Before I finish, so much has been heard. We cannot afford to waste any time. The digital age is not a bad system if we have to manage it nicely and we can really understand and utilize the advantage that is before us. So these pastimes are meant to purify us. They are not just some folk tale. Krishna and Balaram, they're real. We are on this planet. They enacted different pastimes. And now we are part of that system. So that is the great fortune of the devotees of the earth was blessed, trees, mountains, flowers, creepers. And Lord Brahma prayed to become a creeper in Vrindavan. Why? Because Krishna and Balaram, they roam around, and so that he could be blessed with the touch of their lotus feet. Lord Brahma, he's not praying to go back to Krishna Loka. He said he should be given the blessing to take bed as a creeper in Vrindavan. So, in this dualistic world, we have the assets to be able to connect with the devotional system, because we experience the dualities and we can have that lived experience of being dissatisfied with the material world. The stories we hear every day on the news, they are all about violence. And when you compare that to the pastimes of the Lord, that's a big difference. It's a nuance. And therefore, Prabhupada wanted us to come together, hear the Bhagavatam, speak the Bhagavatam. And if even we are not able to do that because of busy schedule, even you're driving to your work, you can listen to the Bhagavatam on your system, because it purifies. These pastimes are the weapons for purification. The heart has now become most fortunate because you have touched are grass and bushes with your feet, and her trees and creepers, fingernails. And because you have graced her rivers, mountains, birds, and animals with your merciful glances, but above all, you have embraced young cowherd women in your arms, ever hankered after by goddess of fortune. How goddess of fortune wanted at least to serve Krishna personally. Even the goddess of fortune is jealous of the gopi's position, so she wanted to become close to Krishna. And Krishna is here for us, and we are not trying to be close to him. Krishna is here, so we should try to be close to him. How do we get close to him? By serving. Serving. Any comments or questions? Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, especially in Kali Yoga, where we find so many of the preachers and the teachers exhibiting some form of weakness or the other, that could create some type of spiritual disemphasizement. And therefore, our position is to be able to live by example. And so, this common saying, don't throw the baby away with the bath water. Yes, the water we use in bathing the baby in that basin is dirty. We throw the dirty water away. We don't throw the baby away with the bath water. See, the beauty of spiritual culture is there is check and balance. So it doesn't matter whether you are a Paramahamsa, it doesn't matter. Prabhupada said, laws of nature are very stringent. And so, if somebody does not use their position favorably, they get some reaction. Sometimes the reactions becomes intense, and especially when people have to deal with many. See, when the guru takes a disciple during initiation, he takes their karma. That's suicidal. Oh yeah. So I remember I was in Argentina, and then one boy, he's a teacher, he was asking me, so what are your requirements to take disciple? And I told him that apart from the four regulatory principles, the person must have some skills. He said, what type of skills? I said, at least a first degree. He said,
Oh, Maharaj, you don't want many disciples. Because many disciples is suicidal. At least I didn't get instruction from my guru to go and take many disciples. He said, go and preach to the professors. Bhakti Swami got instruction from his guru. Go on. You have to get at least 50,000 disciples. That's why so that's understandable. Okay. But if you don't have that type of instruction, and look at Lord Chaitanya, he said, Nandanam Nanjanam Nasundar Abhita Bhajagat. We recite it every day in our temples, and people do the opposite. So you're looking for trouble, you know? You're looking for trouble. You're putting your hand into fire. It's not a juicy job. It's not a juicy job. I remember, when in the beginning I was very hesitant even to go and take that responsibility of being a guru. And then I got some accusation from some of Bhakti Swami disciples that, oh, you're so selfish. But it's a burden. So when someone faces some challenges, we should pray. We should pray for them. I mean, it's like one of my friends, Bhakti Swami's disciple. He preaches on a large scale in India, so he has many followers. And then one of the gurus that he normally recommends followers to take initiation from has some problems. He was very disturbed. He came to me to ask. I said, listen, you see, the followership is one of the major causes of the challenges of this. I travel. And one of the things that scares me the most, I've seen people, they are initiated. They are living with a woman and they are now married. I've seen that. So isn't that scaring to me? It is scary to me. Therefore, I put a barrier, I put a bar. Don't have skills, we'll look for another guru. And some people, then that boy said, oh, you don't want many disciples? I said, yeah, I don't want many disciples. Yes, of course. So we should look at the example of Prabhupada. And so we should read Prabhupada's books. To reinforce our faith in the system, we should read Prabhupada's books. If we don't read the books, we will not have the spiritual reinforcement to be able to sustain our enthusiasm in Krishna. If we are not coming to the programs, we will not have the sustained enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness. See, your temple is even a little bit good. I've been to some temples, and nobody comes to Mangarati. There's a pujari doing the puja. Yeah. Yeah. Here you come, most of your pujaris, they are in a temple, very, ecstatically chanting. And during the weekends, some of you should try to come to the temple. See, I've seen like in Delhi, people come to Mangarati from very far. They come from Mangarati. After the Mangarati, they sit down to chant japa. They're on their suits. They sit down to chant japa. And at some point in time, they zoom out to work. So we want to maintain faith in Krishna consciousness. We have to be active. Active in service, active in participating in programs. One of the elements of Sadasha, according to Prabhupada, even purport in one of these Bhagavatam verses regarding Ajamil, he said, coming to the programs, one aspect of Sadasha. That helps to reinforce feet.
Come for the morning program like Saturday. It's so wonderful when we come chant together. But always, oh, I have this thing Friday or I have Bhakti Vriksha, all the stuff there. And they couldn't come like earlier, say, oh, Bhakti Vriksha went too late or something else. But I spoke devotees in India. Their situation is not different at all. So how is that when we come to America, we get so contaminated? They sometimes sleep 4 hours. They have late programs. They're till like 11 o'clock, but they don't issues but here. So I don't know. I'm really struggling to how to encourage people, devotees who come, because I feel that Sri Prabhupada, that's why I said come to the temple. It's more than anything else. When you sit together, chant, go Mangalarti, we see the beautiful deities, you get a lot of mercy. But it's very difficult to, only few are very few understand, but most are not able to because, we get very tired in the morning, but you can go to sleep afterwards, right, Maharaj?
In most cases, you find that we have a problem, and that one of the problems is weakness of heart. We may have good intentions. We may understand that, yeah, this is good for me. I mean, it's like the statement in the Bhāgavatam, Pashyana pina pashyati. Even after seeing, even after hearing, we're not able to act on it. We know this is what I'm supposed to do. So I mean, it's like, I remember I also in the Gita, Arjuna asked Krishna, what is it that forces someone to act against a better judgment? What is it that I am forced to act sinfully? Why? And what was Krishna's response? Kama Isha. Anjuku. Asana. So we have what I refer to as endogenous challenge. Those endogenous challenges restrain us from moving. Therefore, we need the mercy of. See, if we want to do the struggle by ourselves, it is very challenging. Remember when Krishna was being tied by the mother with a rope, always there was a shortage of about 2 fingers. And the explanation by the Chinese is that, yeah, our effort is good, but we need help. We need help from it. Therefore, we should pray. See, there's nothing wrong coming before Prabhupada and begging. I beg for help all the time. We should identify that we are weak. Beg for the mercy. Sometimes we tend to be convinced that, yes, we're very powerful. This is the highest part. This is the highest mantra, greatest mantra. We are chanting it and we are now become very powerful. We should understand. See, if you read the Sisastakam, then we know that we are very far away from being powerful or being advanced. When we chant, do we have tears shooting from our eyes? Do we have the hairs of our body standing on end? So we need to understand that we need help. Our efforts alone. Beg for the mercy. Beg for the aspect. I do that all the time. Because, sometimes I go to places. I remember I went to one country. I had a presentation at the university. And then in that university, there was some devoted child who was calling there, one young lady. And because she had, when I was being introduced, she had my publications and all these things. And then, after the presentation, she came to me to ask me, Maharaj, but how are you doing it? Because to chant even 16 rounds and to study is just a big problem. And you travel around all the time and you are publishing here and there. How are you doing? So I told her, there's nothing else than effectively managing. I'm begging to be used as tool. If one want to chant, we should beg the holy name, beg for the mercy of the holy. Our system is that of prayers, begging for help. You beg for help means, or you can say, Krishna, those are my problems. He should act on it. But love means that we have dependence, and the lover does not force themselves on us. Yeah. Yeah, we need.
Yes, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
When is this class supposed to stop? I thought it's 8:45. Okay, yes.
So to build a, community around the temple,
Huh?
to build a community around the temple, like regular program, the temple. So what I realize, most of our congregation, they are part of IT, doctor, and then I personally, ask also them because of their child, they want to stay far, for their, nice education, all that. They don't want to come close to temple. You understand what I mean? If we come close to temple, probably the school is very bad, or in Ellicott city, they have nice school, this, that, but they don't.
Ellicott is not far from here.
Because
No, he just took me to his place. Ellicott, yes, was it the other day? It's not far. I see. Huh? No, not
because
up to
I've
15.
been to LA and most of the places in the Florida. If we really people always love to go Vrindavan in buy house next to temple. Why not here? If we depend on Krishna, Jagannath, they are the future, right? We build such a huge temple here.
Yeah, your temple here is a big asset. This is one of the biggest temples in North America constructed by the devotees. So yeah, what's your point? Your point, I get it. People should see this as a big advantage. But my point is, Ellicott is very close here. In India, people travel 45 minutes, 1 hour to come. Tatani Mangarati. I've seen it. There was one time I stayed when he sent me to one doctor when I was having my liver problem. I was living in Delhi temple for 6 months. And I've seen all of these high-profile business moguls and IT guys and doctors. They come to Mangaratis. They live in posh areas, and then the place where the temple is, the neighborhood is not so good. But they come. They drive temple. It's a matter of desire. Yeah. It's a matter of desiring, desiring, desiring and praying that, "Oh, this is what I want to do. Krishna, please help me." See, I was caught up with some management teams in Mayapur. One of the boys who is serving me, he's having some problems, and then I have to write to the co-directors, my science guru, the Bhakti Vasudeva Swami and what is it called, Krsna. It took me, because then I had to call back the boy to speak with him and all these things. So it took me, what time I slept last night? It's about 1 o'clock. I was thinking, okay, tomorrow Mangarati, I'm finished. It's not going to work. But then my alarm rang at 4 o'clock. I woke up. I have a reason to say, well, 3 hours is not sufficient, or less than 3 hours. So we should desire, and Krishna will help. We should desire and pray. Sometimes some devotees, they don't care about praying. But I'm weak, I'm feeble, so I pray. I pray a lot. I have to go to my programs. Listen, when I was doing, keep in mind, I was instructed to go and do a PhD by my Guru Maharaj, because he asked me to go and preach to professors at the time when I was not even having a master's degree. And so I excelled in that field, and then he ordered me to go get a PhD. Now, the PhD I did was not in religion or philosophy. It was in applied management and decisions. And now, there was one of the courses that we did, a compulsory course before you go in for your dissertation. Quantitative reasoning and analysis is statistics. They don't just call it statistics, they use some embellishing, euphemistic slogan or a theme to make it look, nice. That is all is statistics. And I forgot, decades I left statistics. We are like, I think 8 or 10 students, PhD students doing that course. All the students failed. I was the only person who passed. And I got 90 plus. I got A plus. You know what? Before, each time I want to read those statistics books, I pray to Krishna. I say, Krishna, please, look, I don't know anything here. I know nothing here. Help me. Help me. So, this is called lived experience. Yeah, we don't go about saying what Krishna has done to us to convince people, but sometimes we need to say something so that the devotees understand that Krishna can do anything for us. Especially in devotional service, there is nothing wrong in asking, begging, praying to be able to do the service. Bhagavatam.